It seems like this is the inner mechanics of a clock tower. However, the gears look old and rusted, and cogs are spinning randomly without connecting up with their proper teeth. I doubt the clock's still in use today. The room seems to be currently used as a storage area. A large object catches my attention, off in a far corner of the room. It's too dark over there to see what it is, though.
Do not touch anything out of the ordinary,
Magil says abruptly, sending a sudden shock down my spine. However, just as he says this, I see Kid emerge from the shadows, dragging the large object out into the middle of the room. It's a large antique sword of some kind.
We've got no use for that old thing, kid. All it'll do is slow us down. Besides, we probably wouldn't even get much money for it.
Well, I reckon it's worth a lot to the right buyer. Like an antique collector. Or something.
Sulking, Kid quietly lays the sword down.
What do you want?
I look around, startled. That was definitely not any of our voices. Kid and Magil immediately take position, focusing their attention towards the source of the voice.
Who's there?
A figure suddenly appears out of the darkness. It seems to be a short old woman with a large hood over her head. Although fully covered, it's obvious she's quite old.
Oh, it's just some old hag.
Kid says. Magil's sharp gaze on the woman remains unchanged, however.
What an energetic young lady. You haven't come here this late in the evening to drop in on some friends, I'd imagine.
I glance at Kid.
Perhaps you have some score to settle with Master Lynx?
My heart jumps. This is definitely not good. Will she warn the rest of them about us? Kid's eyes narrow.
If we did have a score to settle with that bastard, what's it to you?
Just as I expected.
The old woman cackles in amusement.
Oh, children. They're always so interesting like that. So imaginative, yet so predictable.
Huh?
What are you talking about, old lady?
Oh, it's already been 4 or 5 years, I would gather. According to what I was told, one night a young thief came to the manor looking for trouble. The thief was a little girl, about 10 years old.
Surprised, I glance at Kid. There's a trace of an ice-like radiance in her eyes. Staring at her makes me feel like it suddenly dropped below freezing in here. Unfazed, the old woman continues her story.
The girl was an orphan. She set off to face Master Lynx all alone, hoping to avenge the girl who had cared for her like a big sister. But, after all, she was all alone. Outnumbered and overpowered, she was eventually defeated and captured by Master Lynx's henchmen. As an ally, Master Lynx can be quite an asset. However, as an enemy, he can be one of the most fearsome men alive. If not for a friend who sneaked in and secretly rescued her, she surely would have perished. From what I've heard, this mysterious figure who could allegedly slip in and out of the shadows was the subject of many whispers throughout the manor, long after this incident had come to pass.
Not moving a muscle, I try to look for Magil. He's nowhere to be seen. I can only guess he's sporting one of those trademark expressionless faces, somewhere off in the darkness.
The inhabitants of Viper Manor don't condemn the unfortunate because no one can win all the time. However, from time to time, the goddess of fate has been known to cast down those who have too much good luck, throwing the cogs of time out of order. It's not wise to try and stand against fate, continuing to repeat one's mistakes time and time again.
The old woman continues, staring straight at Kid, smiling sweetly.
If you want to steal the jewel, and if you really want to beat him, you too must give up your most valued possession, Kid. As long as you cling to it, the hands of your clock will never budge. They'll stay frozen, trapped in the distant past.
Who the bloody hell is this old hag?
Me? Oh, just an old lady. Pay me no mind. Thank you for listening to this old maid for such a long time. I certainly hope I haven't delayed you at all. But before you leave, which one of you...
With that, the old woman looks in my direction.
Ah, yes. You look like you've got a bit of a scrape there. Won't you let me have a look at it?
What should I do? I don't know whether to be petrified or comforted by all this. The old woman clasps her hands together. Bowing her head, she mumbles a few words in a low
3,
tone.
2, 1, eating raisins, lots of fun.
Suddenly, a gentle pale blue light surrounds my body, filling me with a strange warmth. Wow, look at that! My wounds are being healed before my eyes. It feels as though there's some sort of soft music being played all around me, putting me into a strange serenity. When I come around, the woman is gone.
Hello? Lady?
Says Kid,
Well,
relentlessly looking around. However, there's no trace of her. All signs of her presence are gone.
wonder what was up with that old hag.
Looking around, I can't help but wonder what she was talking about, with all that talk about a prized possession and everything.
Let's get our asses out of here. This place is giving me the creeps.
Says Kid all of a sudden, already heading for the door. Hey, wait up! As I catch up with Kid, she gives me a friendly poke in the ribs.
Ain't no fair you were the only one who got healed.
Proceeding ahead on the path, we come to a staircase going up, and a firm-looking set of doors on the left.
There better be treasure here. The smell of gold is thick in the air, mate. Just as I thought. Locked.
Kid says, after jiggling the handle. Frustrated, she kicks the door.
God! Bloody wankers, that hurt! This might slow us down, but sure as bloody hell won't keep us out.
Well, unless we find the key, there's nothing we can do, Kid.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Let's get to it then. I bet Lynx has got it stashed up in his room somewhere, the bastard.
Unable to do anything, we leave to look elsewhere. With Kid in the lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. The cracked stone stairs seem to endlessly twist upwards. It feels like we're heading up to a scaffold to be executed. Atop the staircase, an old but solid door waits for us silently. This damp place fills me with a feeling of dread.
There's a faint voice coming from the other side of the door.
Says Kid. I fear the worst. Maybe we should check somewhere else, I say.
Oh, what's the matter, you chicken?
She says while glancing at me, but I can tell by the sound of her voice that she isn't feeling much better about this than I am. There's something wrong about this place, and we all know it. It's a small room, one you'd find in a stone tower. It's empty, and I can't find a single window in it.
What the hell kind of room is this?
Although she's trying to hide it, I notice a shiver running down Kid's spine.
There may be something of use here. Let us search more closely.
Magil says quietly.
You really think we'll find something?
Kid proceeds to the middle of the room, while I examine the walls and floor. The stone floor is filled with countless scratches, covered by splotches of a dry, dark ink. Hey, Magil, would you come over here, please? Something is carved into the wall here. I think it's an inscription of some sort. Magil kneels down in front of the wall and examines the writing. Looking closer at it, it appears to be written in blood.
Indeed. This text has been worn down with age. Most of it is unreadable. Here's what I can make out. Won't let, moo, hunger, sia, dragoons take this my fireworks of doom, ni, he, encha, swore, order to, proof.
Without any warning, the door slams shut. We stand up, taken by surprise. Then suddenly, a low rumbling starts to fill the room.
What's happening?
Kid shouts, looking around frantically. What's that above us? What now?
No.
Gods of time, please protect us.
There's no time to lose. There has to be a way out of here.
The walls! Hit the walls!
We start ramming up against the walls. However, the stone mesh holds tight. This isn't working. The ceiling is getting too close. Ah! A blade is sliced into my neck.
The door! The door!
Kid flies like an arrow, ramming against the door.
Ah!
Her small body bounces back. The door is far too heavy.
Bullets!
Magil streaks across the room like a hurricane,
Here I am.
dashing against the solid oak. The door creaks, but holds tight. My turn. I ram into the door with all my strength. A heavy shock shoots through my body, but the door doesn't budge an inch. The rumbling continues to get louder and louder, reminding us of the rusty blades, eager to greet us.
Serge! Magil! Come on, together!
We should have.
The three of us start to ram against the door simultaneously with all our strength. The door hinge gives. We stumble outside, barely escaping certain death. Behind us, we hear the gut-wrenching sounds of the blades meeting the stone floor. I watch the morbid scene in a daze, gasping huge breaths of air. Finally, the grinding sound fades away. It seems like the ceiling has stopped.
Damn that Lynx. Toying with us like that!
So this is the torture chamber. I wonder how many of the Acacia Dragoons it has claimed.
Magil whispers. Who? I ask.
The Acacia Dragoons. They were once an elite force serving General Viper, a powerful man who used to rule the western territory of Gersbuel. They were defeated more than 10 years ago by the very hands of Lord Lynx. By the looks of things, we have apparently found their resting place.
Who cares?
Says Kid as she stands up.
Generals and knights and everything? Sounds like some old bedtime story.
Magil shrugs his shoulders in silence as we start down the stairs, eager to get away from this awful place. We continue through the passageway. After a while, we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors.
How many bloody doors are we gonna have to find before we actually find something of worth?
This seems to be Viper Manor's ballroom. Beautiful decorative ornaments rest on a large table in the center of this huge hall. Rows of huge pillars are lined up on both sides, adorned with sculptures of birds and various other animals. At the far end of the room sits a gigantic organ, taking up the entirety of the wall. Its pitch-black aura beckons us. A countless number of candles provide a soft, flickering luminescence to the room. Everything around us shimmers in the dim candlelight. Various portraits have been hung high on the walls, depicting all sorts of well-dressed people. From what I can gather, they're high-quality oil paintings. They all have a similar sort of morbid gaze in their eyes, though. Who could these be? Lynx's relatives, maybe? Of these, a portrait of a young lady in a pink dress catches my eye. Wait, what was that? I swear she looked at me just then.
Whoa! Hey, Magil, come check this painting out. This guy looks just like you. And that ugly bloke over there looks just like your mom. Oh my god, it just moved!
Come on, Serge. It's time to put away the ghost stories. It's just my imagination acting up again, I tell myself. It was probably a trick of light, caused by a flickering candle or something. The oil's glossy finish distorted the image for a second or two. Yeah, that's what happened. But I don't know.
This room is, bloody strange.
Kid sees it too. She has to have seen it.
I suggest we look elsewhere.
Magil says suddenly. Kid and I offer no objections. We head down the path. After a while, it ends at a stained wooden door.
Doors!
Guess this is the study. This huge room is faintly lit by the moonlight, shining in through a tall window. In the back of the room stands a large, ornately decorated desk.
Oh, hey, Magil, look at this.
Row after row of bookshelves house thousands of thick, dusty books. A painting is hung on the rear wall, sharing space with various exotic curios.
Yowie?
I walk over and open a drawer in the mahogany desk.
Magil,
The
what's
drawers
yowie?
contain writing materials and documents,
Shrug.
arranged in an orderly fashion. Unfortunately, they don't seem to contain anything worth mentioning. But then, a small picture in the drawer catches my eye. It's a portrait of a friendly-looking girl with a faint smile on her face. I hold it up, wondering who it could be.
It's probably Lynx's adopted daughter.
Kid says, looking over my shoulder with her nose crinkled.
Pedophile.
Suddenly, we start to hear footsteps coming this way. Though they aren't that loud, they boom like thunder in the night. Kid and I jump up. Magil swiftly conceals himself in the nearby shadows.
Oh, well, thanks, Magil, for helping us out there. Really great friend. Love you, man.
Kid and I scurry down underneath the desk. Curling up, I wrap her up in my arms.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, all right, Serge.
Smaller than I thought.
What? Hey!
The door opens with a sudden creak. We sit motionless without making a peep. The quivering light of a candle spreads in from the doorway. Soon after, a hand holding a candlestick comes into view from behind the door. Tightening, I nervously hold my breath. When I look down, my heart skips a beat. With Kid's lips right in front of me, I feel myself starting to lose control. So full, and pink, and glossy. My heart starts pounding faster and faster. I force myself to stop staring and shut my eyes tight. Whoever opened the door doesn't seem to have any intention of entering the room.
Thought I heard something. No reason for anybody to be in here, though, since the master is away. Still, with those poor southerners on the move, it's never too safe to be sorry.
The door closes softly, covering the room in darkness once again. For a while, we wait, not moving an inch. The footsteps echo away into the distance. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I can't stop thinking about how great she smells.
Hey, how long are you gonna stick to me like that?
Kid asks, blowing into my ear. Huh? Sorry.
Nerd.
I quickly get up, bumping my head against the desk with a loud bang. I crawl out, rubbing my head. Man, that stings. Kid comes out next. Crouching, she looks me over and says,
You goof. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So, Poiré is up to something.
Magil says quietly, emerging from the shadows. Por is a large country governing the southern continent. I hear it's a pretty well-developed and fairly prosperous place. But what would they be after in these outlands? Surely not the frozen flame. No matter how valuable it may be, in the end it's just a jewel, a piece of rock. How valuable could it really be?
Sha-la-la-la-la-la, my oh my, it's like a voice inside. Go on and kiss the kid.
Let's Start Project.